Welcome to Hip Talk, the podcast where we talk about all the new cool features and innovations coming to the Hedera network. My name is Keith Cole, and I'm a product manager at Hashgraph. And I'm very honored today to be joined by Ty Smith, who's also a product manager at Hashgraph. Welcome, Ty.
Thanks for having me. Excited to talk about some hips.
Well, we're going to talk about hips, and we're going to be talking in particular today about the hips that came with release 62, of which you were the release manager for. Really exciting release, a lot of cool new features that I know the community has been kind of waiting for. So let's get right into it. Let's start off with the first one, HIP 1086, Jumbo Ethereum Transaction. What is this new feature and this HIP? What does it do? And how is it going to benefit the community?
Yeah, I think if you are doing Ethereum transactions on top of Hedera, you're well aware of the 6 kilobyte limit of the total transaction size. And that is restricted for some call data, for some contract creates, and it brings non-great developer experience of something that could be better. And so with HIP 1086, the contract bytecode and call parameters can go up to 24 kilobytes now for contract creation and 128 kilobytes for contract calls. And so these can be embedded directly and has a huge increase from that prior 6 kilobyte and should have a really nice impact on the developer experience of Ethereum developers and less overhead of trying to compartmentalize your code into 6 kilobyte chunks and understanding of how to get that executed.
Well, I mean, that's going to be great for any developer looking to bring, I would say, like more complex smart contracts, especially in the DeFi space to Hedera. It should probably make their life a lot easier for them.
Yes, deploying bigger contracts, sending larger transactions with big parameters on Hedera without the kind of special tactics you have to do should just ease up a lot of developer experience, a lot of cohesion between other EVM environments and our EVM environment. And as with everything that we're trying to do at Hedera and Hashgraph, just make the developer experience easy so people can focus on the application layer. What value do they want to bring to their customers and their use cases, and not so much about the workings of the network. And I think this does a lot to unlock a lot of innovation inside of EVM.
It's amazing. It's going to be great for the EVM community. So now we're going to talk about HIP 1084, which is zero cost Ethereum transaction on success. What is this HIP? What does this HIP do?
Yes. So this is probably more removed than most developers, unless you do in local development or something. This is around the JSON RPC relay operators. And typically, because Hedera is a unique Hashgraph consensus, and we wrap things with happy transactions, and then you also have the Ethereum execution. The relay had a lot of extra stuff that other JSON RPC relays on other EVM chains wouldn't have because Hedera is a unique system. In that, though, the costs for running a JSON RPC relay were higher, even on success, because of these happy transaction wrapping and just the mechanics of what needed to exist for that cross functionality to propagate. And so this HIP lowers that operational costs and should allow a lot more developers and teams and people that want to run JSON RPCs the financial means to do so without so much cost. Because if there are successful transactions going through, you no longer have to pay for the unwrapping of that happy transaction. And so the cost of running JSON RPC on Hedera is now more analogous to, again, other EVM chains where it's much, much cheaper or just paying server costs much less than digesting the transaction fees and other things like that.
Yeah. And we of course should mention that the JSON RPC relay is open sourced and available on Hyro, and maybe we'll provide links to that. So this should really, I think, expand the ecosystem of people looking maybe to provide JSON RPC relay services, which again is a big benefit to the EVM community as a whole.
Yeah, it's a real more is more situation. So the more people that can run JSON RPCs, you have more developers who have access to executing the Ethereum transactions through those JSON RPCs. And this was a restriction on that growth just from a financial perspective. And again, this HIP has freed up that expansion. So we're really hoping to see a lot of people set up some JSON RPCs, go to the Hyro as repo, and just kick the tires, see what it's like, and check out what it looks like to run a JSON RPC.
Awesome. Okay, last we're going to talk about something a little bit new. So obviously, I think in release 58 or 59, you can remind me, we released a big HIP, HIP 991, which was permissionless revenue generating topic IDs for topic operators. Super exciting HIP. Now, as we've kind of introduced it, we've also started tweaking and tuning things like, around the implementation of it. And in particular, with release 62, we saw some pricing changes around this HIP. Could you talk more about that?
Yes. So in general, as we introduce new features that have added value and utility for the sustainability of the network over time and a conscious understanding of node revenue, these new features are going to have new pricing models that bring that sustainability. And so in release 62, we bring the fee for submitting a message with a topic ID that has a custom fee on it to 5 cents for the fee to the network. And again, that's for the sustainability of the node revenue and the longevity of the network to continue while providing new utility and valuable utility for application layer to integrate with and digest.
Great. I think, Hedera Consensus Service continues to be one of our standout services, both for utility for the community and just like how unique it is within the ecosystem. So I'm sure people are going to continue to see great utility, and particularly now with this new HIP 991 functionality.
Yes, super excited to see what everyone builds. I think that's the best part of the job.
All right. Well, I think that summarizes HIP release 62. Did you have any other final comments, Ty?
No, just it's always good to see slow and steady churn of making developers' lives easier with like the 1086 and 1084. And always striving for that EVM equivalency and just being an interoperable chain that lends our Hashgraph consensus and the value adds of our native services easily adaptable for anyone who is creating EVM contracts or wants that extensibility. So always great to see progress and excited to see, release 63.
Awesome. And as always, if you want more information about this, please go to our website, hedera.com. Our documentation site, where we also document our releases, which would be docs.hedera.com. And then we also mentioned Hyro. If you want to see a good intro to Hyro, we have hyro.org, or probably even better yet, the GitHub repo for Hyro, where you can see all the exciting Hyro projects, such as the JSON RPC relay. So I want to thank Ty for your time, and thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.